Very much for this invitation. It's always a pleasure to be here at the SFI SOMS gathering. Pleasure to see so many known faces, so many good friends from the industry, especially from multiple associations, and of course, our well-wishers and supporters from the Government of India and ICR. So pleasure to have all of you here. On behalf of the Indian Microfertilizer Manufacturers Association, I have the pleasure of being the president of this association for the last 6 years, and we have been working very closely with other industry associations and of course with SFI very, very closely on our joint work regarding the specialty fertilizers and micronutrients in particular. I would, of course, spend some time setting the context before our panel discussion. We have, I think Rajiv and team have given me a very khatarnak topic. I don't know why, but because they've given me a khatarnak topic, I must, I think, apologize before presenting, because I may ruffle some feathers. But be that as it may, I believe it's a topic that is extremely critical for all our sector and industry. We believe that we are at an inflection point where all sectors, all industries must come together and raise a common voice if there is a way we can make sure that our industry grows in a very productive and positive manner. Considering that as a background, I am going to talk about perhaps the elephant in the room, in many rooms, which is restoring choice in plant nutrition. Because many a times farmers don't have a choice. वो जाते हैं, दुकान में जाते हैं और जो दिया जाता है उनको forcibly खरीदना पड़ता है. और ये जो forcible sale होता है, उसके वजह से जो अच्छे products हैं, the good products, the good sectors, उनकी भी ब्रांड खराब हो जाती है because the world feels कि ये ऐसे ही बिकते हैं, धक्के मार के बेचना पड़ता है. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time on our industry size and the specific problem and propose certain solutions. So it would be about a 5-7 minute presentation, I hope that's okay, which covers the context, and then we'll get into a panel discussion led by a very expert moderator, Lakshmi. So can we move? Just a bit about IMMA, just a quick introduction. The Indian Microfertilizer Association was started about 40 years ago. We have a statutory seat on every policy-making body regarding microfertilizers. We are on the Bureau of Indian Standards, every state fertilizer committee, the Fertilizer Association of India, the Ministry of Agriculture's Committee on Sampling. I mean, every policy related to micronutrients, fortunately, we have worked very hard over 4 decades to ensure that our association has a seat on this table. We also work with other industry associations. Like I said, we work with CII, with SFI, with IZA, and we also host our own summits and knowledge sharing programs during the year. I've had the privilege of working on policy advocacy, knowledge sharing, and fellowship with regard to this association. In terms of our industry size, we commissioned a research last year with Yes Bank and Deloitte to actually look at what is the actual industry size for specialty fertilizers, for biostimulants. So for the first time, possibly, we have a documented report done externally with great amount of research data that says we are today almost a $1 billion industry. We are a $980 million industry. So we are not a small industry. We are not a small industry. People have to take notice. And now the corridors listen to what we have to say because we have now reached scale. So when you combine water solubles, biostimulants, and micronutrients, we are today $980 million in revenue in India. So all of us really represent a very large and growing sector. We have some structural problems in our sector. Almost 65% of water solubles are imported. That's a structural problem. But I know my company and other companies in this room are striving for import substitution. We are striving to make in India. And if there is make in India as an opportunity, I think people in this room have exemplified the excellence of making in India. And I think that's, again, a very important part of this industry. Biostimulants, I think this is one of the sectors that had a regulatory reset last year. We went from 8,000 who didn't know where they were to 140 who now know where they are. that they fall under the biostimulants, they fall under the fertilizer order. It is not a free-for-all industry. There is now fair and firm regulation. And I think that's a very positive sign. This is therefore a smart transitions happening in our sector on the policy space. Specifically in terms of breakup, water solubles are today about 3,700 crores as an industry. Like I said, this is with a CAGR of about 7%. This is documented data which IMMA has published in the last summit, which was happened at the NSC in Mumbai. Biostimulants, 2,350 crores with a 11.5% CAGR, a fastest growing sector amongst the three. And micronutrients, which is perhaps the steadiest and compounding growth of about 2,142 crores is micronutrients. So in total, we are about 8,200 crores, which is about $1 billion. Now coming to the problem at hand, what is this tagging problem? I believe we are all caught in a vicious cycle. And the vicious cycle, the origin is subsidies. The origin is the form that subsidies are available on very critical inputs like urea and DAP. These subsidies give farmers a regulated baseline. Look at the blue, the regulated baseline that a farmer has. They really have no, the dealer has no scope to make money. His cash flow is also dependent on when the government pays him and at what price it is being fixed. That puts channel pressure. The channel pressure is because the dealers have to survive. Companies have to survive. That channel pressure brings in coercive tying. They coercively tie, forcibly, jabardasti, micronutrients, biostimulants, जहाँ कोई margin है, free market है, उसको tag कर देते हैं along with the major fertilizers जो subsidized है, और इससे unlawful forced sales market में हो रहा है. And I'm repeating, it's unlawful and forced. That is the problem at hand. That is why coercive bundling is taking place. What's the impact? The impact is farmers have no choice. जब उनको जबरदस्ती किया जाता है और बोलते हैं यूरिया DAP चाहिए तो साथ में कुछ और खरीदना पड़ेगा, तो किसान अगर समझेगा भी तो उसको लग रहा है कि ये फोर्सिबली मुझे दिया जा रहा है, मुझे इसकी ज़रूरत है नहीं. लेकिन फ्रैंकली इसकी ज़रूरत है, नहीं तो 8,000 करोड़ की मार्केट नहीं बनती. और हमने 8,000 करोड़ का मार्केट टैगिंग करके नहीं बनाया. We made it with demand creation, we made it with farmer training, we made it with very systematic activities. But now this market is being dug out of the reality of what it is into the mess of coercive tagging. MSMEs, the distribution gets foreclosed because distribution counters, shelves limited है, वो shelves पे ये tagging वाला माल जाता है और सही माल नहीं बिकता. Working capital gets messed up, dealers are protesting, and trust, जो हमने सब मार्केट में जो ट्रस्ट बिल्ड किया है हमारे ब्रांड्स के लिए, वो ट्रस्ट ये टैगिंग की वजह से सेक्टर का नाम खराब हो रहा है. कोएर्सिव टैगिंग इज इलीगल. यस, एफसीओ में टैगिंग करके आपको शब्द नहीं दिखेगा, लेकिन जो दूसरे लॉज हैं उन पे हम लोगों ने लीगल तौर पर ओपिनियन लेके ये कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट में, आप नीचे से देखें, एसेंशियल कमोडिटीज एक्ट जहां हम सब शामिल हैं, और एफसीओ में फर्टिलाइजर एक एसेंशियल कमोडिटी है, और वहां का जो क्लॉज 31 है कहता है कि हाँ, आप अगर कोई अनलॉफुल स्टॉक मार्केट में डालें तो आपका इमीडिएट मार्केट में डिसबारमेंट और आपका सस्पेंशन लाइसेंस का हो सकता है. ये क्लॉज के ऊपर आप कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट डालिए और आप कंपटीशन एक्ट डालिए. कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट में अनफेयर ट्रेड प्रैक्टिस, टैगिंग एक अनफेयर ट्रेड प्रैक्टिस है. इट इज वेरी मच क्लियर. कंपटीशन एक्ट प्रोहिबिट्स एनी टाइन अरेंजमेंट्स. कोई भी फोर्स्ड सेल या टाइन सेल ये कंपटीशन एक्ट में अलाउड नहीं है. इट इज नॉट परमिटेड, which means taking the three acts, the Essential Commodities Act, the Competition Act, and the Consumer Protection Act, all of this के basis पे बहुत से बड़े कंपनियों के ऊपर आज अच्छा है कि इनके ऊपर आज कार्रवाई हो रही है. क्यों हो रही है? FIR दर्ज हो रहे हैं, show cause notices are going, and an immediate sale ban is also taking place. This is just an example. Urea market, it holds a very large share of this tagging problem. यहाँ आपने अगर ये तीनों clauses को आप लिए तो specialty markets में आपके जो decontrolled market है उस पे impact हो रहा है. अगस्त में कंपटीशन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया का एक क्लियर रूलिंग था कि टैगिंग एक रिटेल इरेगुलरिटी माना गया है. And the Competition Commission of India has ruled in 2025 that tagging is illegal. It is not permitted. It is a retail irregularity. There is a prima facie abuse of the market, and it should not take place. So there is actually a ruling, a legal ruling now in our favor. At the center level, the Parliament of India, Lok Sabha Standing Committee says legally they cannot compel any beneficiary to buy a product along with urea. This is extracts from the Parliamentary Committee proceedings. Direct action from the Chief Ministers, a Union Agriculture Minister says that states are directed to stop the tagging of fertilizers along with of biofertilizers, biostimulants, nanofertilizers, and conventional fertilizers, and strict legal action, including cancellation of licenses and FIRs, are being asked for direct action by the states. Administratively, in some of the states, this is the current status. In UP, a state order has been issued. 7 FIRs of forced tagging have been filed in the recent past, and a high deterrence has come in India's largest market. This is actual facts. I've just given you data that I've compiled from newspaper reports. Gujarat, a circular has been issued. 41 complaints resulting in 12 official dealer suspensions have actually taken place. Nano sales have been delinked from regular movement of fertilizers. Madhya Pradesh, a state directive is there. Form A2 of many companies has been suspended, and it also protects farmer choices. In Haryana, a district level ban in Ambala has come in place, and that has led to immediate sales ban on specific companies who are tagging. And in Maharashtra, reported ban and the CCI probe has come in, and the Director of Agriculture has been asked to implement that nobody can tag in the state of Maharashtra. Major channel disruptions have actually started. This is just a beginning. So at the center level and at the state level, at least now it has been recognized as a serious problem. And the serious problem is because a good industry is being affected because of this tagging problem, and people who are actually doing demand creation, they are not able to make the sale. This is my last slide. Anti-tagging is therefore a national imperative. We all have to raise our voice together. And that's perhaps one of the reasons for the panel discussion today, is to actually find solutions to this problem. Anti-tagging is a pro-farmer, pro-dealer, pro-competition reform. And you are also going to protect MSMEs in a sector which has today reached $1 billion. If MSMEs have actually built this industry, we now need to protect their interests. We cannot compromise the interests with tagging. We cannot allow unfair trade practices. We cannot allow practices which are unlawful and are therefore enforced, eradicating forced tagging is now a national imperative. And I hope that in our discussion today, we will be able to take that up very strongly and find specific solutions to these particular matters. Not only today, but we are also going to take up this matter at future sessions. And I must, with permission of Rajiv, just tell you that we are going to take this up not just today, but we have a government policy dialogue coming up in September in Delhi. We will take this up matter once again. We have our own National Crop Nutrition Summit coming up in February as in every year, where we will definitely invite SFI. And this discussion will not end today. We will ensure that as a policy initiative, IMMA takes this up along with partner associations at every forum that takes place where this discussion is relevant and can actually help with the benefit of the industry. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I hope I have clarified the problems and the need for this particular reform, and I hope that we can all, as one industry in one common voice, unite and take action. Thank you very much. Thank you.